how's it going? This is Chris from Panurgic L.I.F.E, aka the Green Beret L.I.F.E. We're switching over names, so cool. Anyway, here's my third video, introduction to my third video for my plate carrier. In the first series, you can see on YouTube, we talked about carrier itself. Second series was some fast tech and quick release stuff. So today I'm going to go over the back panel and some more quick release stuff that's kind of related to the carrier itself. Okay, let's get started. So this is the back panel. Okay, you can see the two sides here that I'm holding up. Alright, now this back panel, you can see it has Velcro on here. I had this Velcro put down on here, okay, because this back panel was sewed completely here, so you couldn't access it. What you had to do was slide this out to adjust it. Okay, but that's dumb. So I'm gonna make some mods here. So here's what we did. I took the Velcro and had this put on. Okay, so it created a flap. Now in here, this is the original configuration that the cummerbund came in. Okay, now you can see I have these marked, and this will come in handy later. But this enables you to adjust the cummerbund for size. Alright, and then you can tie it together. But the thing was, and all this is, it's like a shoe. So it's laced exactly like a shoe, and all you got to do is put a bow in it, and it'll hold whatever knot you feel. And then you can see how it stretches here on these portions, which also gave you some give and allow you the flexibility to move in it. But what you had to do, since this was originally sewn right here, you had to pull this completely out to adjust it to one side and then put it back in and kind of snug it up under this. Okay, so I had this modified, and then its original configuration was like this. Okay, I'm going to talk about this panel first. So we're already familiar with the mod I made here for the flap to access the cummerbund where it mounts on the back of the back panel. Okay, so the original cummerbund was tied, and you've seen that, but now we're going to use the loops that are over the eyelets, and the loops are already on here to mount it back to the panel. And that's going to be done by making this piece here. So what happens here is, you can see how this is sewn right here. Alright, and all that does is hold this strap in here underneath right here. You can see where it's sewn. This strap is for holding the panel in. So no big deal, we just need to put a hole in that, okay, to put this 550 cord through that creates this eyelet that holds our cummerbund on. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so to make that hole is very simple. You can probably hear my torch in the background running. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this punch, steel punch, and I'm going to heat the end up because it is exactly the diameter that I want for that 550 cord to come through. I'm now heating it up, and you can see where my finger is right here. So this nylon will burn a hole this size in, just a tad bigger than the diameter we're after, and you'll be able to thread your 550 cord through there, full gutted 550 cord, which will provide you the loop you need. Okay, so I have this heated. Now watch very carefully as I punch it right through this nylon, and it creates a nice hole in there. perfect. And that's exactly what I did on the vest. What's great about using the torch in the metal punch and heating it up, it cauterizes the entire thing, clears through, and there's no room for anything to fray or anything like that. And you can see that that is very smooth and cauterized right there where this comes through. Okay, so I mentioned that I like an inner cummerbund and an outer cummerbund. So originally it came with this outer one, okay, which we've already seen, and it goes around to the front. It hooks in here on this panel. Okay, so already seen that. Now, the inner was those Fast Tech clips that came around that I took off, and you can see I mentioned right earlier in my other videos that I took them off from here and on this side here. Okay, those were also dumb. So let's put this together. So we have this hole in here, and I've threaded my 550 cord through there. You can see it right here. All I did was make a fixed loop and put through there. Now, you can use an overhand or figure 8 in this. Just something so it won't pull through the hole. Let's put this back in. Okay, with this loop back in, let's talk about our interior cummerbund. So I happen to have these two pieces laying around. Okay, and you can see how I have them labeled. One is the left. This is the pile portion. And this is the hook portion. And it also stretches here with elastic and has the eyelets for size. So I happen to have this one laying around. I'm not sure where this came from. I think it was from another piece, another plate carrier I had. Same thing on this side. It stretches with elastic. It's built very well. So this is going to be my interior one. Now I've measured it for size, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on first on my loop. I have these labeled bottom left, so I know that this one comes around on my left side, and I want it on the bottom in my top right here. So this is my interior cummerbund. Alright. Now, let's see how that's going to work. Now, all I'm going to do now is complete this cummerbund set with my outer cummerbund. So, earlier we've seen these panels, right, on the original setup. Now, all I'm going to do is thread this, keep threading this through here. That's my bottom left. Now my top right. See how that's fairly easy to come through there with the 550 cord. Now I'm going to lock this in temporary. because our quick release device has to go through this. And we're going to cover that right now. Now, what happens here, it allows this panel to be closed and still be accessible for anything. And then you can see I have the two ends coming out. So this is going to be my left inner right here, and then my left outer. And on the right side, the right inner and the right outer, which are fully mounted on the inside of this panel. Okay, to fully make this thing quick release for the shoulder here, which we talked about already, and the cummerbund, this part is necessary. This is just a wire lanyard that I picked up at a surplus store. Okay, it's a wire cable inside a plastic sheath, and you can see this here. So all I did was gutted a piece of 550 cord and ran it down the length of this, and then I used heat shrink to keep it in place here. And it's already smooth. Now this smooth portion on this end is going to go in that 550 loop on the back panel, and it can separate the panels. And this is just the pull lanyard, and you can see I've also used heat shrink on this end to keep this 550 cord in place. This heat shrink is awesome stuff, so it can be picked up at any hardware store, and with a little adaptation, you know, a hair dryer or heat gun. I recommend a heat gun to put this in place, but I thought at first the heat would mess up with the Velcro here, but it didn't, this powel portion. So it actually worked out pretty good for me, and it's also created this loop. So I picked this up at a surplus store, which was actually really cool. Now, of course, this carrier didn't come with this lanyard, so we had to make some mods. So what I did was, to hold this lanyard in place, I put a piece of Velcro here, the hook portion here, so that allows this to stay in place here on the front, which you would pull along with your pull lanyards here and here to separate your harness, your panel, your front panel from your back panel. Continuing on, I had to make some mods to the back panel so my pull lanyard could come in. Remember earlier when I showed you about making holes with the punch, heated punch, so I had to put one here and one here. So what happens is this lanyard, this pull lanyard, gets put inside the shoulder strap for security, so it's not flapping everywhere. Of course, your shoulder quick disconnects are in place. And then I'm going to put it through the first hole here, and then it's going to go inside the vest and then come out here. You can see it starting to poke out right there. There it is. Nice. Okay, so once that's in place, it's going to attach back here through our fixed loop of 550 cord. Now what we've created here is a complete quick detach system for the cummerbunds here through the fast ticks on the shoulder. So I have everything put together on my plate carrier for the quick releases. Notice the two here, which actuate the clip on the shoulder, and then the one we were working on here, that's going to actuate the cummerbunds here and underneath here. So I recommend doing the shoulders first. Now I've added some weight to this thing so it would give you an idea of how it works. So I'm going to actuate the shoulder ones first. Keep in mind these is 16 pounds of pressure here, enough just to keep it in place, but enough to where you can actuate it with your arm. So here we go. Shoulder straps with the fast ticks. Okay, so it started shrinking down and I can feel it to start slip. So I'm going to actuate the back panel now real quick. All right, now watch everything just fall away. And I'm going to hold this from it because I don't want it to smash my toes. And you can hear the thump back here. That was my back plate falling into my chair because I don't want it to fall clear to the floor. And my front plate fell away. Now notice also that the cummerbunds are still attached to the front plate, so everything can be put back together. Okay, that was a successful test. You can see that all the pieces are laid out here. Okay, now when I did pull it, the lanyard did come clear out. Okay, that's going to happen. So let's put this all back together. Now this is real time putting it back together, so bear with me here, and then we'll time it and see how long it takes us to put everything back together. So here we go. First of all, I'm going to put the lanyard back on the front panel. Now put it back through the shoulder. Then I'm going to move down here and put the fast ticks back together, the two plates. Make sure that the pull lanyards are in place. And I like to stow the hooks or the loops under there so they don't get caught in anything. Okay, so that part's done. I like that in place. And there, and there. Okay, now we're going to finish with the pull lanyard. I had to open up the back plate, the back cover to get to the plate. You can see it start to sneak through right there. Okay. Now moving down here, I'm going to start with our cummerbunds. So, the bottom left one first. Then the right. This cummerbund is the inner one. So we got the inner one on. Let's go with the outer one now. This is where it starts to get more difficult, but I think we're right on time for just a minute or two. This is the right one. Shake it a little bit, see it comes out. Alright, now we're going to put our quick release through. Close this panel off. Make sure everything's aligned. We're done. So everything is ready to go back on right now. Successful test, yes. Alright, cool. So that was awesome. The test went good. I like how everything performed. Now, keep in mind that when I was putting this back together, it took about a minute and a half to put back together. And that was really that was pretty quick. So If you have to take this off for some reason, no big deal to put it back together. So a minute and a half, everything was together. The two parts just came together nicely, and then the only real issue I think is the lanyard. Maybe I'll work that issue out, but so it's on there. That was the only piece that really kind of fell apart and fell off the system. But really, if you got to take this off in a hurry, you're probably not going to recover it. And you're probably going to be missing pieces anyways, because never know what's going to happen to it. So that was a successful test so far. So there's a lot more to go on this thing. So we'll continue on. The plates I had in here is my training steel plates. They weigh about 9 pounds a piece. The plates were just for practice. They're not ballistic plates or anything like that. So, and that gives you an idea how quick this thing can fall away. So, this is Chris from the Green Beret Life. Keep in touch. Let me know if you got any questions, and hopefully you gained something from this video. See you guys later.